What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, Only Percussion here for your movie news, movie reviews, and more. Episode 101. It's almost like we're going to tell you about how to watch movies. Sounds like a tutorial 101.
Oh,
Get it?
101. Oh, I see. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Jokes are on point. Mm.
Like less of a joke and more observation, but
No,
we'll take it.
yep, shush. But we
Shush.
have we are catching up on House of the Dragons. It's yep. We'll get into that, and then we've got to the newest Deadpool and Wolverine, the third movie in that little franchise, and then we've
Yep.
got the another sequel, which is Twisters. And spoiler warning: there was no two Twisters at the same time, so false advertising.
Kind of.
No, false advertising. False advertising. Don't go see
Yeah,
it.
I was expecting it to be different, but
Hmm.
being lied to.
Yep. So I want my money back.
Yep, all that money you spent on watching
But
it.
anyway, let's get into movie news because last episode was our top 10, bottom 10, and now we are
Mm,
back into the regular format. So it is
heck yeah.
good. Channing Tatum is everywhere at the moment. He was in the romantic, no, was it a romantic comedy? I don't know. It was the Fly Me to the Moon. I don't know if it was meant to be a romantic comedy or not. Felt like it was
Yeah,
supposed to
had
be.
elements of both, yeah.
Yep, but he's in another movie, so he's on a trailer, not a trailer, a movie schedule at the moment. He is in Blink Twice trailer, which is so Shannon Tatum is going to play a billionaire with a dark secret in Zoe Kravitz's thriller. So he's going to
You're
be
right.
in another one. He's
He's
everywhere.
playing the bad guy.
Hmm. So it could be interesting.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
We're going to get a Britney Spears biopic, which I reckon will be pretty interesting. It's an interesting
Yeah.
story.
I was
Uh,
only discussing this with my wife a little while ago. Her story is crazy. It's not surprising it's already coming out, but I
mm,
feel like her book only just came out.
yeah, her book's pretty wild too. So
Yeah,
it should be interesting. Pharrell Williams animated Lego bio piece, which is that's it's so bizarre, but whatever.
it's about Pharrell Williams.
Yeah, but it's his biopic is Lego people.
Lego.
Yep,
Yeah, right.
yep,
Okay. Sure thing, Pharrell Williams.
yep. I mean, I guess he's trying to be different.
Oh, he's
James,
different.
yep, James Gunn has announced DC Studios Superman has wrapped filming, so yeah, there's another Superman film coming.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't know that, but also don't care.
Yeah, so uh did you we didn't watch Nobody, but there is Nobody 2. Christopher Lloyd is confirmed to return. Nobody was
Nobody.
yeah, it was about a guy that was a nobody and then became somebody.
Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
seeing the thumbnails and trailers for this. I never watched it though, which
no.
is disappointing because I heard it was pretty good.
Mm.
Well, I
So
heard it was above average. I didn't hear it was great.
but number two's coming.
Okay.
We've got Alien Romulus. Actually,
Yep.
the trailer looks all right. I was actually impressed with the trailer. It looks better than what I was expecting. So,
Yeah, a few people I follow on like Letterboxd and TikTok and stuff are saying it's actually something to be excited about. So
hmm, that's
that's
cool.
cool.
Deadpool
Because
and
the
Wolf.
other recent ones, as we've discussed before, the
Yeah,
other
they
recent
were
ones aren't anything special. Of
no, they were average. Deadpool and Wolverine is doing really, really well at the box office.
course.
So, record-breaking 438 million opening weekend. No surprise there.
Yeah, people love Deadpool.
Yep. I mean, it's the only one that's actually R in the universe. So like if it wasn't R, it wouldn't do so well.
Aren't the other Deadpools are? Or they
Deadpool
haven't?
R, like I mean, Deadpool
All the
franchise
Deadpools.
is the only one that's R. Like Venom should have been R, but they were like,
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So uh, Gladiator 2 features the biggest action sequence Ridley Scott has ever done. So
Okay.
should be
Wait,
interesting.
what two?
Gladiator.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. There's
The
also
biggest
another
ever done.
There's also another Roman Empire TV show which is on Amazon Prime at the moment, which I can't remember the name. The name escapes me. Something We All Die or something or other. It's meant to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some news about Captain America, brand new world, has connections to the X-Men and the Eternals. The Eternals was terrible. And then we have a Marvel's Fantastic Four movie gets a new title. It's called The First Steps, which I hate the Fantastic Four. I reckon they're so average.
I mean, again, I've got no connection to any of it, so I don't really care. I
Yeah,
didn't hate the first one when it came out. Like it was a product of its time.
mm,
It was kind of shit, but
it was
you
bad.
know,
I fell asleep.
yeah. But it's it's no Silver Surfer. At least it wasn't.
Mhm.
It wasn't absolute hot garbage. I thought it was pretty fine when it came out,
Okay.
and this
Okay.
was like what pre Spider Man as well. So
Yeah,
you
I
know,
guess.
grain
I
of salt.
guess. Yeah. Well, let's get into our first item off the rank because we've got two episodes to talk about, which is episode 6 and 7.
Hmm.
As usual, I'll probably go off tangent and you'll jump in and save everything because two episodes does my head in. And this, I've lost so much interest in House of Dragons.
Oh,
So,
really?
like, I'm not excited to watch any of the episodes. There's like, don't get me wrong, it looks incredible. There's some really cool moments. I really like the dragons, but I the first season, I loved Matt Smith's character. Damon was just chaotic. He had really cool moments. And then my favorite character of the entire show, they put into a keep, and he's like just doing mundane, just mind games by a witch. And I was like, I don't, you've just nerfed it, my favorite character,
No,
and he's doing nothing. Like he was incredible. And now he's just a bumbling moron in his mind.
I think it's a bumbling moron, but
No, but that's what they've pretty much reduced him to. Like I've seen so many memes of him, like you know that meme with the person with the stick, and he's like, "Do something," and it's like, "Commit war crimes." To Damon.
no, I actually don't know that man.
Uh, I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I might. I can't picture right now.
It's just a stick figure. He's got a stick and he's like poking it. It's like, "Do something," is the original meme, and then it's like, "Commit war crimes," and it's him poking Damon.
With Damon. Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
but I know. Like, yeah, people. The first season set him up very different to what he is now, and what he's doing now. I don't disagree with that. If that's
mm,
what you're in the show for, if you're into the show for those Damon kicking ass, tearing shit up sort of
mhm,
moments, then yeah, I guess the season is disappointing.
mhm. Like they were my favorite moments with Game of Thrones. But this is telling a different story. So you can't really hold it, I guess, a torch and compare the two because they're meant to be telling two different stories. But for me, it's not what I'm here for. Like I've never thought about the Targaryens and gone, oh, I wonder all of this part. I don't care that much. I've lost so much interest.
Yeah, right. That's disappointing.
Mm, like
Okay, I understand where you're coming from what like you enjoy and stuff. I'm still
yeah,
super into it. I
okay,
still think it's really interesting. I think the characters keep it interesting. Like yeah. I think the cool moments that exist are cool enough to keep me coming back.
okay. Like
And even the quieter moments I think are still really entertaining.
okay. I actually did go and cheat and looked up when people die and where the story goes because I was like,
Oh my god.
I already know it. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
there's moments where I'm like, oh, okay, I'll tune in for that bit. But like, I'm not going to spoil it. I read the books as well, Game of Thrones, and I really enjoyed it. And I didn't spoil that for you when.
No, well you better not.
Well,
I
I
still think
didn't.
it's a
Calm
complete
down.
waste.
When did I
No,
ever
you're
spoil
fine.
it
You're
for you?
fine. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you have. I'm not saying you have. I'm just saying I think that's a waste. Like
Why? I already know
because
the outcome.
it'd be like looking up the score of a game that you want to watch. Like don't you rather experience it firsthand?
No, we already know where this story ends up, though.
Well, I don't.
You do, because they make mention of it in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but 200 years later, like I know that no one's left, but of course no one's left. They die of old age.
Yeah, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's enough. Like I'm still enjoying it. But anyway, let's get to the episodes.
It's kind of like
Like in
the Star Wars prequels. It's like, Anakin's going to murder heap of people and become Darth Vader. No shocker there.
yeah, but it's the how and it's the watching the change and how does this character become this character? Whoa, what must happen to him?
Mm,
Like that's I don't think it's a fair comparison because no one's even around that's in. There's no characters that are in both
mm,
Game of Thrones and
mm. Yeah. But we are dealing with the two sides. So we're dealing with the greens and the blacks. So they're trying to scramble to be able to put each other on the back foot. So obviously the Greens, we've got Alison trying to gain control. We've got her son, the king, is dealing with his being burnt alive, so he's struggling. We
yep,
have
sure is.
what's the other son? Aemon has taken control, and he is now the standing king or whatever they call. Do they just call him king, or do they call him like the
Uh, King Regent.
yeah, like whatever the stand-in king is while his brother is trying to recover. I'll be very
Yeah.
surprised if old mate ever recovers from that. Like you'll burnt alive, bro.
Oh, he's destroyed him.
Yeah.
And if he does recover, he's not going to be fit to rule. Like his, yeah, I guess. But neither was old mate when he died either. Like he was destroyed. His body was decayed.
Hmm. Yeah, so he's in trouble, and we see a little bit of a power play between him and so Eamon and his brother, which there's always that power struggle. And now that
Yeah.
Eamon is like got power, he's stronger, etc. I didn't really
Mm.
understand the scene with the rock or the egg or something or other that he presses into him like the stone. I was like, that's
Oh,
lost to me.
that's his when he joins the High Council, that's his little stone that he picks up when he's present. And it's
Gotcha.
more or less it was like Aemond reminding him that he's in power now and that, you might as well have this back because you won't be winning anytime soon, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was Aemond's like power play.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you get that little power play. We've got obviously King's Landing sort of struggling, trying to hold control, and then we've got
Hmm.
Rhaenyra getting lots of advice from I'm going to butcher her name, but they refer to her as the White Worm, Melissa,
Massaria to
Massaria.
Noel.
Well, dyslexia. You.
I know.
Uh, so she's very, very clever and gives Rhaenyra an idea, how about you send some boats in and hope for good weather and
Mhm.
cause a little bit of a riot because they're like, yo, here's some supplies with the Targaryen.
Supplies.
Yeah, it was a bit of supplies. I was like expecting them to go in for a subterfuge attack, but no, it was a boat with food and supplies and
Yep.
which causes a ruckus out in the peasants or small folk, if you will. And they're like,
Yeah. Well, it just more. It's just winning the people over.
oh yeah, I think it's a very clever play. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's great. I like how Massaria is coming in and sort of playing because it is the war isn't just about kings and armies and thrones. It's about the people.
oh, yeah,
And I think that yeah, Massaria coming in and sort of speaking for the people, and I think it's very smart. Yeah, she's great. She's a cool character. I wouldn't expected who she was in season one for her to become who she is in season two, like her
no,
role to play and stuff.
I didn't see that coming. But then there's
Mm.
also an interesting sort of love interest with Rhaenyra and
Yeah.
Sari as well. I was like, okay, I didn't expect that. But also
Hmm.
the Targaryens seem to be a little bit frisky, so I don't know if like they seem to get it on with each other.
With whoever.
Yeah, it's just whatever moment presents. Because like you've got Damon in his mind going at his mother, and then you've got like the uncle and the niece, and then you got all sorts going on. It's just they're at they're at whatever. I don't know. It's bizarre.
They're at whatever.
They go it all. And then we've got also Rhaenyra following up with her plan. Obviously, luckily, all her scrolls so that she could do the backlog of all the Targaryen bastards. It didn't catch on fire because it was very close to some fire, and like
Yeah,
that work
which is
safety. Don't put paper near an open flame.
hmm
And then they're looking for some dragon riders. And a dragon goes rogue and is like, yo, you're part of my line. And it's like, hey, you're all of a sudden, you're gonna ride me.
You're gonna ride me.
Yeah, like he just chased him out of nowhere and was like, hey,
Yeah,
time,
call us the son.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
time to fly. Which, like, it's okay. It's okay. I
I
like
think it's cool because it's a reminder that the dragons they're intelligent creatures. They can pick their riders rather than they're not just horses who get ridden.
mm, yeah.
They form the bond sometimes.
Yeah. So they've gone rogue. Everyone's scrambling. Dragons are scrambling. Rainier is scrambling. Allison's scrambling. Everyone's scrambling for power and all sorts of
Hmm.
bits and pieces play. Rainier assembles everybody, sends a secret message by the White Worm. She goes in, delivers a message, and it's like, "Come, select a dragon, see if you're worthy. If you are Targaryen blood." And then
Yeah, yeah.
we get a that was a pretty cool scene. I like the dragon started like mauling people. But it was like, you've already foreshadowed that this bloke is going to be the bloke that gets the dragon. I was like,
Of course. Yeah.
okay. Like I
Are
would
we are
have,
we skipping? Are we skipping to episode 7 now?
I just gave you a rundown of where it's all going.
Oh, we're doing 6, 7 together. Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The it's a cool scene because like even though we know what's gonna like we sort of have an inkling of who's gonna be the person or two who who claim a dragon. I think it's still an interesting scene to watch. Like we get to it's a really cool moment with this guy. Again, I don't have him in the list yet, but the blacksmith guy. Um, seeing him, claim his dragon, scream in its face, and sort of like, "Come on, take me," sort of thing. Like he won his dragon by standing up to it and being courageous and whatever. But then seeing Ulf, the other guy, who's just a drunk in the tavern, he sort of runs away in fear and just stumbles across a dragon, and he just happens to be there, so the dragon picks him, sort of thing. Like I like that. Not every dragon wants the same things from its rider. Like even Corliss's son, who gets the dragon the episode before, he runs in fear too. Like it's not about standing up to the dragon and showing that you're not scared of it and stuff. Maybe it is for some dragons, but some dragons just oh yeah, you're in the right place at the right time. You want to ride me, sort of thing. Like I like that every dragon's different, and you really got to see in this one as well. Then the more we spend with the show, I love seeing the difference in the dragons, like how some resemble more like traditional dragons, some have more like an alligator like snout. They all sound different. They're really fucking cool. Like the dragon scenes. I know you're normally the one for the dragon scenes, but the dragon scenes in these episodes were like pretty fucking badass. Really, really cool.
Do the dragons just lay eggs and then they hatch? Like, how do they reproduce?
I imagine they mate some description.
Like, do they have a breeding farm of dragons? Because there doesn't seem to be many dragons.
No, I imagine it's really like they can't breed that often or they don't produce many eggs or I don't really know.
Well, no, just a random
Because
thought,
you're right,
but
there aren't like hundreds of them.
no. And like, how do they continually feed them? Like, they're in a cave and stuff, and they obviously have that order of dragon keepers,
Mm.
and they're in that cave. And then obviously, when Rhaenyra is doing a like thing to get all the dragons, get new riders, and the order's like, no, we don't support this because
Yeah, yeah.
tradition and stuff.
They're not highborn, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Like, where? How do you guys deal with that? Maybe it's the spin-off show called The Dragon Keepers. We just see them tending to dragons.
Well, we do hear about, like, in the mainly in King's Landing, but how many they have to, like, use so many sheep to keep the dragons alive when those sheep could feed hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's expensive. Of course it is.
yeah.
They're dragons. They're like giant animals, giant pets that need to be fed.
I guess lucky there's not many of them. Otherwise, there
Yeah,
wouldn't
he
be.
would take an entire fucking population to keep them fed.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I'm getting a bit bored of the show.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm still super into it. I think that uh introducing more dragon riders and using the common folk is a really interesting direction for the show. Um, because it's not just about the family anymore. It's the people as well, and we get to see the one thing in the show in general is even with Game of Thrones, it's always been about the people contesting the throne. It's always been about the highborns and the special families and that sort of stuff. We don't
Mhm.
get much insight into the regular folk, and I think that's like an important story to tell as well. So no, I'm down with it. I think the show is still really strong.
Okay.
Episode 6, maybe a little less so. Um, episode 7 was cool as hell.
You also got Damon making alliances with who was the lad who was kind of like the girl that
Yeah,
was like the like real
yeah, yeah. I know you're talking
sassy
about.
from the north. I can't
Yeah,
remember
the
what
girl
her
who was
name
in
was.
Last of Us.
Yeah. It seemed like a descendant of whoever that was. It had the same type of vibe.
He's a Tully, I think.
Tully. Okay.
House Tully. I think this guy is the young guy you're talking about with
Yeah.
the fish on his chest.
Yeah, because she was what part of the Bear Clan or something or other.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I lose track of all the different houses to be honest, but uh, yeah, that was cool and it was interesting. A cool scene because like again, Damon's so used to just being powerful and taking what he wants, but in this scene, he has to like this little kid realizes that Damon has to step down a little bit in this scene or lose everything he's been fighting for while he's been in this location. So being in Harrenhal
Yeah.
is
Oh,
yeah, it was interesting to see Damon be taken down a peg and have to sort of step back a little bit.
man, I'm so ready for him to get out of there. Go do something.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
There'll be a fight, a dragon fight next episode, and he'll swoop in and kick ass with Cyrax.
Hope so. Hope he kills the witch lady who's messing with his mind, and he's like, "Get out of my head," and then kills her, and
No,
then
I think he'll bed her.
probably
I think there'll be like a thing.
he's frisky, so we'll see. He's
Mm-hmm.
he's everything. Well,
He's frisky.
mm,
I'm not sure what's happening with uh why like Clubfoot Lara Strong, why he's trying to force the Grand High Maester to get Aemond up and about, and I don't know, like he's almost forcing him to hurt himself. Aegon, sorry. Um,
I mean, because
you know what I mean? Like,
he's never going to beat him for power. That's probably why. Like, there's a chance that old mate Aemon's going to die in battle. He wants to get things moving along, and then he can pick up the scraps where it goes.
they're
That's
forcing Aegon to walk and stuff. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's almost like they're trying to kill him almost. You know what I mean?
I think he's kind of like there's a little bit of a soft spot, and then if he all of a sudden has a miraculous like recovery, he's like, "Oh, I helped you." It's like a claim to power, or like I have a club foot too. I know what this like. You need to overcome your weaknesses or whatever. That's what I saw
Mm,
it as. You know,
okay.
club
No,
foot has
I
been
feel
put
like
down.
has been put
Was it?
down.
Yeah, because he's got a club foot, so he was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like birds of a feather.
Mm, maybe.
He's a conniving man, though. He's a
He is
conniving
coming,
man.
man. I see it more as something more nefarious, like he's trying to trying to make sure he doesn't recover, or I feel
Okay.
like he benefits more from Aemond being in power. I don't know, it's hard to say.
I don't know. I don't think like he wants to control stuff. Like he had Allison like display her feet and all sorts. Like
Yeah.
he wants control. Like I don't think he's going to be able to control Eamon though. Like Eamon's like, oh, I'm doing what I do. Like you can't
Yeah.
control him.
And even when he thought he was starting to manipulate Aemond with like trying to become the next hand,
Mm,
that remember that scene where he's talking to Aemond, he's like, well, you need to name a new hand and whatever, whatever. And then he's like, well, I have a job for you. And then Aemond, then Clubfoot's all like, I could never, I could never. Oh, thank you. Like, not you idiot. Like,
yeah,
send word for Otto.
yeah,
Otto still hasn't been heard from, so I don't know what he's doing. But
yeah. I don't know.
yeah,
So I think that's his play. Might not be. Might be. Who knows?
yeah, we'll see. I'm super into it. This season has been, I got to admit, like a little slower than the first season. But first season with all the time skips and the fights between characters and everyone being in such close quarters, I feel like was a bit more dramatic.
Hmm.
And like you say, one of the best characters is just off chilling in a keep doing bugger all.
Yep.
But I don't know. It's gotta be to a good end, right? It's gotta have its payoff.
God, you hope to. You hope so. So
Yeah,
what? Last one's this tomorrow, Monday.
yeah. Last
Yeah.
episode of the season, and then we forget about it for 2 more years, and then all of a sudden it'll come out again.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows?
Then we'll
Uh,
rewatch it from the beginning, sort of like watch it all in as a big chunk and see how it feels.
nope. Never.
I know
Never.
you
Ever.
won't.
Nah. So it's like this season's like a three. Like both episodes, they were three. They moved along. I'm just not that into it at the moment.
Okay. I thought I thought episode 6 was like a three and a half. Still good, but it was a bit of a slower one. Whereas I feel like not yesterday's episode, last week's episode 7, was like a four and a half. I thought it was sweet.
Okay.
I feel like we're seeing things move. All the scenes of the dragons are fucking cool. The sounds that dragons made and the way that they made him seem so powerful, but also how Rhaenyra is still so in power with them. The scene where she calls him forward and like calms it down and everything, like it's fucking awesome. Dragon Whisperer.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. I thought it
Yeah.
was sick.
I
I'm
wonder,
into it.
imagine if she did like Caesar Milan and was like, it's like,
Yeah, that's what I did this for.
it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
That would have been a crack up. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that would have taken away from the scene.
A little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's sick. It's real sick.
Uh, all right, let's jump into Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm actually quite interested to hear your take on this one because this
Oh, really?
is the third film. I feel like the tone of your voice, I pretty much know where you're going with this.
But why
So,
are you interested in my opinion?
because I'm curious, I was wondering if you enjoyed it or not. So, I've seen number
Hmm.
one, really liked number one. Number two was okay, little bit of a letdown. Didn't quite hold up to the light of the first one. And
Hmm.
then obviously we have this one, which is the big team up that we've all been waiting for. Everyone's been waiting to see Wolverine in his actual yellow suit, which
Yeah.
it took forever to put him like full mask on, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. We do get it. And yeah. So have you seen two yet?
No,
No, okay. Okay.
no. I watched Deadpool 1, I don't know, pretty early when it came out.
Hmm.
It was okay.
Have you seen
And
Loki?
no,
Okay, so you had no idea about the TVA?
what's TVA?
the the whole time, the people that control the timelines.
No fucking idea.
Okay,
There's a few
so
things I had to piece together here. I didn't realize that Deadpool had given up Deadpooling.
Hmm.
Does that happen at the end of two?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few things I had to like piece together, but it's not a complex story. It's not like I had to like, oh, what happened? Why is that? I
No,
can just make assumptions. It's
no.
fine.
So obviously Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, very self-aware. There's quite a few moments where they go for the full breakdown to just get a laugh. Happens.
And there's no rules to it. There are times where I don't know if he's like when he goes talks to John Favreau's character, and I don't know what he's trying to do there. He's trying to join the Avengers, but at first I wasn't sure if he was talking to the character or the person John Favreau. Like I thought he was trying to get a movie made in
Mhm.
Marvel. Like
No, so John is happy, which is like is Iron Man's driver, bodyguard, assistant kind of
I pieced
bloke.
that together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's like in charge of the Avengers. So like when Spider-Man, I'm not sure if you've seen the newer Spider-Mans,
No.
he joins the Avengers, Happy's like the go-to guy and he's like babysitting Peter for the whole thing. So it's like you have to go through Happy to be able to become an Avenger because he'll pass on the
Yeah.
word
Yeah.
to yeah. So
But my
like
point was though that there's no rules with their fourth wall jokes. Like sometimes they'll call him Wolverine or Logan, and sometimes they'll call him Hugh.
mhm,
And
yeah.
it's like when you're breaking that fourth wall over and over again, there's no rules to it. There's like, well, where does the line stop? Is Deadpool in our universe or is he in the Avengers universe?
Yeah, that was
It
the whole
just
thing because they were jumping so many timelines. That was so it look, it's meant to be tongue in cheek. That's whole Deadpool's thing.
I know I get it. I'm just saying there's no rules to the fourth wall.
No,
Like which universe? Anyway,
they don't explain what universe either. It was a lot of this
no, it's
was,
convenient joke writing. I understand.
and a lot of this was just fan service to get all the different Deadpools in, and also
Oh,
a number of different characters in as well.
100%. The fan service was fucking insane.
So, like, we get a number of different returning casts. So obviously Ryan Reynolds has given up Deadpooling. Ryan Reynolds, Wilson has given up Deadpooling. He's a car salesman. It's just joke after joke, which you kind of expecting. You get the
Yep.
full the music. I absolutely love the music in this. I thought the music was great. Thought it fitted the tone and the whole thing. So we get
Yep.
a full intro of a big fight scene where he's like slicing people up, pulling bones out, stabbing them with people's bones. Very, very Deadpool, really using that R rating. Probably went for a little bit
Oh,
long,
definitely.
but
Oh, the opening fight scene with when
yeah,
he's using Logan's body.
yeah. But like, I still enjoyed it. And
Yeah, it's
then,
fun.
yeah. And then we progress where Wade is pulled out. He's a anomaly where his universe is going to collapse. And then he's like, no, I want to save my universe. So he has to go on the hunt to find the different Logans. I'm still a little bit timelines. I'm like, what in the hell is happening here? Like, I don't know exactly which Logan's where and which Deadpool is Deadpool because they make reference to Wolverine Origins as well, where Ryan Reynolds played Wade Wilson in that, and he was actually Deadpool, the one where his mouth was like sewn up or like covered over. If you remember the final fight in X-Men Origins, like he was Deadpool in that.
I think I've seen X-Men Origins.
Okay, which is like Wolverine Origins. He's
Hmm. Yeah, that was a bad movie.
yeah, but he's the first. That was Deadpool's like first
Sure. Yeah,
appearance.
yeah. I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like his timeline's going to collapse and he needs to get Logan. He meets a number of different Logans and then he finally finds the right Logan. And then we are on a absolutely bender. So we have Mr. Paradox, who's part of the TVA. He's going rogue and wants to get power in the TVA. So he's controlling everything. He's going to delete a timeline with an unsanctioned time machine. But
Yeah, they
then
lose their what do they call it? What do they call Logan in that universe. They're like something being. They're I forget what they call it. There's something. There's blah blah being can't die or the whole universe collapses.
Yes, pivotal point or something or other. I can't remember the exact terminology because there's a lot
Yeah.
going on. There's like some serious moments where they're like, "Oh no, your universe is all going to implode and we're going to kill everybody." And then other times it's like, "Ha, you can't kill me. I'm immortal," which comes into play a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. So as we're cruising along, we get like a whole Mad Max like reference, which is then we get
Yeah.
introduced to Magneto's sister, which I forget what her name is completely.
No, it wasn't Magnesis. It was Professor X's sister.
Professor X, that's the one. Because they need Mag.
Xavier.
That's right.
Charles.
So they need Magneto's helmet. That's right. They just made reference to everybody because that
Yeah.
was the
It's
only
pretty much
thing.
it.
The only thing that could stop her invading your mind is Magneto's helmet, and second is Juggernaut's helmet, which who works for Professor X's sister. So they
Yep.
get a they get a ragtag fan
Cassandra
service
was her
team.
name.
Cassandra, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So they get a ragtag crew, which is complete fan service. So we get Elektra
Yep.
comes back
Uh-huh.
out of nowhere. We get
Yep.
we get Wesley Snipes
Wesley fucking Snipes.
Flame Blade. He's he's gotten real. He's not as like stocky as he once was. He's a lot like slimmer.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, just saying. I was like, oh
He's a fucking old man now. He's probably in his 60s,
yeah. And then we've got which has been rumored for a very long time. It is Channing Tatum playing Gambit,
which was
and
horrible.
he was so bad.
His accent is fucking so shit. I like Channing Tatum, but Jesus Christ, he cannot pull a French accent.
I thought he was got a Russian accent.
Oh man, so I don't even know. I thought it was French.
No, he was trying to be Russian because they made the joke.
Russian?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure Gambit's Russian
I'm looking up his nationality.
or Gambit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Russian.
French.
Was it really? Well then,
He's Cajun from New Orleans, is fiercely proud of his heritage and speaks both Cajun English and Louisiana French.
well, there you go. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it's a very bad accent.
And then the other little bit of a twist was we get Chris Evans coming back as well, but not as Captain
Yeah,
America,
I like
as
that.
Johnny
Johnny
Storm.
Storm. I think that was funny. Blame
Yeah,
on.
it was pretty funny.
I like that he died real early as well.
Yeah, it's hilarious. We also get Sabretooth as well. So this is just so much fan service all in one
Yeah.
crack. It was just fan service, over the top fight scenes, all the Deadpools you can think of with Peter as well. Every universe has got a Peter Pool. It's, it's just
Peter
like,
Paul.
yeah, Peter Pool's the overweight, like beer belly Deadpool, and they all like love him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, when we get all
Was he
the
number two? Was he like,
no,
I don't understand where he comes in.
it's like it's a comic thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you know how there's like the dog pool and the head pool
Sure.
and all the other ones. Like it's just
You say so.
there's okay. There's a lot of them. It's a lot of them.
Uh,
So like there's so much fan service. Like the entire thing, very self-aware, talking to the
yep.
fourth wall. The action scenes were majority good. There was a scene where they were out in the street where they fight all the other Deadpools, and it was clearly a lot of CGI, a lot of green screen.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Even this,
ooh,
even the fight between Deadpool and Wolverine, there's some real egregious fucking green screen as well. It's like, oh,
yeah.
I thought by now we were better at this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it felt bizarre. Like it was really noticeable on that part where they were fighting all the other Deadpools, and it was like they were trying to go the foreground and the background, and I was like, oh, this is not great.
Yeah. Like the old meant to well to me it was meant to sort of um remind us of Old Boy, I guess, like the
Mm.
classic Old Boy hallway scene.
Yeah, but like I had a great time with the film. Like I laughed around. It was a lot of fan service. I'm a fan of the Marvel. You're not so much a fan of the Marvel. I can
Yeah.
see you like you're one of the old Muppet blokes standing up on the balcony like "Argh," you just you hate Marvel. You're just
Yeah, but
grumpy.
unlike Muppet Blokes, I don't even go to the show.
Yeah.
Like Muppet guys go there to complain. I don't even go to the show.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Look, it wasn't as good as it wasn't as good as the first one. It was
Okay.
better than the second, but still enjoyable. I'm interested to see what they're going to do because obviously X-Men are now confirmed to come into the MCU. Like, are
Yeah.
they going to keep Hugh Jackman or is Hugh Jackman like I thought he was done with the Wolverine role after this? Like, it wasn't. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Like, are they going to keep him? Are they going to get rid of him? Where's it going to
Mm,
go? Who knows? Like, it's just,
well, it's a lot of money for him, so I'd be
yeah,
surprised if he doesn't keep going. But
yeah,
I
we'll
don't know.
see.
I'm really
Yeah.
glad because at the beginning of the movie, when Deadpool first wants to get Wolverine, he goes to the body and he's like, "There's no way he's dead." And I was like, "Man, that if he just comes back to life, that completely ruins what Logan did." And Logan is such a powerful movie because he dies
Mhm.
that I've been so disappointed. But I'm really glad they didn't just like, oh, he's alive for no reason. Like it's a different Logan from a different universe. So I felt okay with it.
Yeah, it's getting very messy with like universes and stuff and time travel.
Yeah, but that's
It's almost to the
there's no
point where
rules.
yeah, they can do whatever they want,
They can
which
literally.
is kind of like the comic books. Like they reboot series every like
Hmm.
six months, and it's like, oh, all right,
I know. There's the rules of comics has always been kind of loose. It's like
yeah,
time travel and split universes and stuff. They can do whatever they want, and that's fine. Like I'm not, I don't give a shit about that because I'm not watching this for like a scientific, fucking accurate. Oh, the multi universes don't make sense.
yeah,
They can do
I
whatever
know,
they want.
yeah.
It's fine.
Like it overall, I enjoyed it. There was a lot of jokes that I laughed at. They even made fun of like Ryan Reynolds, the proposal where it was like a good looking Deadpool where he's like a low bone density.
And all he
It's like
says is the word, the proposal.
yeah, like it was
Uh,
there
yeah,
was some good
I
laughs.
laughed.
Yeah, it was lighthearted, over the top
Most of
gore.
the most of the jokes made me roll my eyes more though.
No,
Like a lot of it was just like the part where when is it when they I forget the moment something happens and is it the X-Men moment I forget and Ryan Reynolds goes and like runs to the camera off to the side and is like suck it Fox or some
I
shit.
laughed at that one.
Oh come on, like we get it. Like I just think that Deadpool gets when I say when I played the game right. The game is from like 10 years ago at this point, maybe even more. I forget.
Yeah.
And at first, it's real fun and quirky, and Deadpool's like a breath of fresh air because he's such a nonsense character amongst the sea of like tryhards.
Mhm.
But at the same time, his comedy gets to me very old very fast. It's either really crude, and every joke is just like might as well be that's what she said, or it's fourth wall jokes.
Yeah.
And when it's literally just two punchlines for 2 hours, oh, I don't care. Like I just in my review on Letterboxd, I wrote I definitely laughed, but I rolled my eyes more. Like it's funny. There are moments that made me like genuinely giggle along, but a lot of it is just like it's just eye rolls. It's made for edgy teenagers like Rick and Morty. Like
Yeah.
a lot of this is just over the top because like oh we got an R rating, we might as well go. The people are gonna love this, and like I laughed at the when he and Wolverine fight, and he says to the camera, all right, nerds, better get your towels ready or whatever. Um, this is what you've been waiting for. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, like that's a fair fourth wall joke because that's literally what people are here to see Wolverine and Deadpool fight. And it was a cool fight scene. But then he did his same sort of joke later when it's
Yeah.
like against all the Deadpools or whatever. just they beat the dead horse a lot in this, and I just towards the end I was over it. Like I did not give a shit about what was happening, and it's all just MacGuffin bullshit and invincible characters being invincible and uh no 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 the character reveals, right? The scene where they reveal Wesley Snipes and Carmen Electra, Jennifer Garner, and fucking Channing Tatum and all that. we I watched this. I'll just as I've been honest before, I watched like a cam version of this because I'm not paying for shit. Uh, and the crowd screaming and like fucking woo yeah, like clapping along and getting excited and shit. Oh my god. I am so glad I didn't go pay to watch this at the movies because I would have gotten really mad at the fucking crowd. Is that people act in Endgame and shit? People cheer and stuff at the movies.
Hmm.
That is the cringiest shit ever. It's like clapping at the end. It's
Yeah.
so fucking dumb.
Yep. I love it. I
Oh,
love
makes me cringe.
like, yeah, like they're gonna survive. You know how they're going to. Oh,
Literally.
because we regenerate so much. Like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Like
There's no stakes.
you knew it was coming, but it was still enjoyable. It's like the first Deadpool movie was a 4 for me. Like I really enjoyed it. The second
Mm-hmm.
one was like a 2, and then this one's in between it. It's a 3.5. Like I laughed, I had a good time, but it was also like
Okay.
very, very, it was too heavy on the reveals, I reckon. Like it was just reveal after reveal after reveal. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
you could have
And
toned
I
that
think
down.
I think yeah, like it needed to be R. Don't get me
Mm.
wrong, but I think when something like this gets approved for R rating, they're like, all right, we need to make this the most R rating possible. And they just go, they kept making jokes about how the one thing they couldn't do was cocaine. And I was like, that's funny because they're pointing out like you're allowed to fucking shoot someone in the face, but you can't snort cocaine.
Yep.
But again they used same thing with this thing. If they have a joke once, they're like my dad when he's meeting new people. Like he'll repeat the same jokes over and over. Ones I've heard 1,000 times. They're fresh to the new people, so he repeats them. Like, Dad, this is getting old.
Mm.
I just towards the end of this, it was the same shit. They made that joke about cocaine like 4 times. Okay, we get it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, this was nearly good for me. Like I said, I laughed a few times, and I don't think it was not. I don't think it was not entertaining. It was definitely had elements of entertainment. It just felt long and just is nonsense. There's no stakes. The jokes were few and far between. And I remember roll my eyes a lot. It's like a two and a half, two and a
Yeah.
half. I think is probably fair because some of it's pretty cool. Some of the fight scenes are pretty sweet. Um, for what it is, it's an action comedy. They did the action relatively well at times and the comedy relatively well at times, but it's still not anything spectacular. The
Yep.
way that the people are going crazy about it is fucking insane. I can't believe how many people are just losing their mind over this movie. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. People love it. People love Deadpool though. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
And I love Wolverine. I
Yeah.
like that there was a small Wolverine. Like, you know how when he goes back and when he goes to all the different
Yeah.
universes, there's that little midgety one. That's how Wolverine's meant to be portrayed. This little fucking gruff, stinky bitch.
Yeah, he's like meant to be 5 foot something, isn't he? Like he's meant to.
I think smaller. I think he's meant to be. Yeah. I think he's meant to be this little fucking angry. Is the Wolverine? He's a little stinky fucking homeless piece of shit that just is meant to be. Yeah, this little rodent,
Yeah, right.
but he's this handsome Australian man instead.
Yep. Who knows?
Also, does he have an Australian accent or not? Because Deadpool kept copying his voice with an Australian accent.
That was just for
Was
fourth
Hugh
wall.
Jackman?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
It's
all the interviews of like them going at each other and Ryan Reynolds making fun of the Australian accent and like I think it's just them having fun at each other.
yeah,
That's
but again, it's that where's the line between is Deadpool in our universe? Is he in the Marvel universe? Like,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
it loses traction a little bit. Like, you've got to have
Yeah,
some rules.
yeah, I don't know. So,
Anyway,
anyways,
that's enough. It's okay. It's for the right audience, even creamy jocks.
mhm.
For people who give a shit and haven't seen a lot of the others, it's okay.
Yep. So let's jump to our other sequel, which is Twisters. So, like, I enjoyed the first movie. I have memories of them holding onto a pole and the tornado like coming in,
Yeah,
and that's that.
I don't recall the first one at all. I know I watched it when I was younger, but I did not remember it at all, like literally at all.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So like the '90s Twister. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
remember of it. That's it. That was my entire memory. I didn't rewatch it, but this is obviously coming on and backing onto that franchise. It's about a retired tornado chaser and meteorologist is persuaded to return to Oklahoma to work with a new team and new technologies.
Yep.
So I was confused if this was meant to be a romantic comedy or if it was meant to be about them chasing tornadoes. I was like,
Yeah,
what genre are you going here, guys? Like,
yeah. There
what's
was definitely a romantic interest, but it didn't follow the beats of a romantic comedy. Like there was no like black moment and shit. So I
no, but
was
it
okay
was
with it.
they like hinted at it though. They were like, is
I
it?
know, yeah.
I was like, okay. Like as soon as Glenn Powell's character Tyler was introduced, I'm like, oh, okay. He's this.
Oh well, yeah. You
He's
know, there's going to be a romantic interest between him and Kate.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which everyone is always just these handsome, like good looking people that all of a sudden are extremely smart and chase tornadoes. And like,
I
yo,
know, yeah.
yeah,
Again, I've said it before. No action hero is ever ugly.
no, no. So they're off. Kate is all of a sudden the only person that can solve anything. The old
I know. She's
standard
like,
tropes.
the fucking Twister whisperer. She knows everything about every Twister ever, more than like trained PhD meteorologists.
Yeah, like she knows everything. And
Uh
then
huh.
Tyler is just a YouTube adrenaline junkie that is like, haha, I'm the best at this because
But it
I,
turns out he's got a heart of gold, and the money they earn actually goes to helping fucking Twister survivors.
yeah, I was waiting for that to be like the moment when they're like, oh, this is amazing, kiss me.
I know it was really fucking cheesy and gross.
Oh, but like, I'm still annoyed that there was not two twisters. Like,
Well,
I,
there was a scene where there was kind of two. There's a scene where they had to choose between, oh, do we go to this front or this front? And then because she's the fucking Twister Whisperer, she goes to the correct one, the other one go to the wrong one. But yeah, look, I expected the climax to be running away from one Twister, and then as they're running, another one shows up, and they're like, "What? Two Twisters? Oh, that's the
yeah,
name of the movie." But they
mm,
didn't.
disappointing. Oh,
Yep.
but the amount of twisters that happen in this area, how's there any infrastructure left? Like this place got smashed. I don't know what I can't remember what the time frame was because I zoned out a little bit. Like what's the time frame between them all of a sudden chasing tornadoes to them seeing the final climax of the tornado? Like where's that? Because
Oh, not
this
long.
like Oklahoma got smashed with tornadoes. I was like,
Yeah.
how is anything still standing? Like,
Yeah, not long because like they're talking about how it's the what's the word they use? It's like a fucking epidemic, an epidemic of tornadoes or twisters in wherever they are, Oklahoma. Um, so it's meant to be pretty frequent. But you're right. Like I know it's a very open area, be like twisters happening in the middle of Australia, but there's still, like you say, a lot of fucking people and cities and shit out there.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, oh, okay, this is bizarre, but
Again, there's not a lot of rules to this.
no.
Like, they go pretty crazy with twisters and tornadoes and
Even when like Glenn Powell's able to hold on to the girl's arm and like stop her from being pulled in, like the scene behind you.
yeah, and he's fucking. That's why I put it up there because it's the most ridiculous scene. He's holding on to people are like being ripped out of the room, and chairs are flying away and stuff, and he's holding on to a chair leg with his foot. and holding onto this woman who's being pulled up in the air. Like the wind is supposedly powerful enough to lift her in the air, but then only 2 inches later, it's not powerful enough to lose grip over his foot. And the guy behind him, this guy here, is barely even being pulled at all. Like he's just relaxed. He's just chill.
He's like, I'm in here. I'm further away, so there's no more
Yeah, right.
wind.
I'm at least 3 inches away from this wind. Yeah. Again, there's like this disbelief of rules that they really throw like it's one of those like classic horror tropes. Same with the old shitty fucking eight-legged freaks and stuff. There's like you've just got to forget that physics rules exist, and these twisters are the bad guys, so they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh, how do we stop all these?" And then they come up with a plan, and then no, the plan works as usual because they're the
Yep,
smartest people in the room. These one retired tornado chaser, and the other one's a YouTuber that chases tornadoes who are smarter than every other person in the room.
yep,
Yeah.
they sure
And,
are. And I couldn't give a shit about any of the characters, and yet
well,
somehow I didn't hate the movie.
I didn't hate it. I just wasn't that interested in it. Like I wasn't
I
invested.
enjoyed it more than fucking Wolverine.
Yeah, right.
I didn't roll my eyes this movie. Like there were some funny moments that were kind of silly, but I still felt like the characters had more heart and
Yeah.
like I felt more connected to what the fuck was going on. Like
It was the
being a
least
story
interesting.
rooted in realities, it was always me a bit stronger for me.
Mm, mm,
Maybe
mm. I don't know. It was the least exciting thing I watched this week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean that's fair.
Yeah,
Uh, so
like it was.
what else happens is worth discussing. It's a pretty stock standard film though. Like you can write the ending based on the beginning, and it's long. Actually, you know what? It's too fucking long. It needs to
Mm,
be an hour and a half. In fact, it was
mm.
2 hours, and they're not doing anything. The what they're doing literally in the opening scene is what they're doing in the last scene. And yes, that's a trope. We see that all the time with they weren't successful the first time, but they were later. But not much changes between the start of the movie and the movie, besides
Right.
the characters, I guess.
Yeah. Just I don't
Like
know.
credit
I
where it's
was.
due. I think the characters had good development. Like I liked her journey, Kate's journey, and
Yeah.
going from like a thrill seeker to like literally scared of them to getting the itch back, and then at the end she was out there fucking up on her own.
I
She had
don't
more
know.
character growth than anybody in Wolverine, Deadpool. So
I feel like if you actually experience tornadoes, this would be like more exciting. Where we don't get them here in
potentially,
Australia. It's
no.
like I don't understand the danger or the experience of what it's like to be part of a
Mm-hmm.
tornado storm or whatever it's. I'm assuming it's the storm. I don't know. Do they call it a storm? Tornado
Yeah, well,
warning.
yeah, for sure. Well, even the letterbox, as storm season intensifies, the paths of former storm chaser Kate Carter and reckless social media superstar Tyler Owen, blah 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 blah. So yeah, storm season.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. I guess we do get typhoons, but here where we live,
We get cyclones, yeah, but
we don't.
cyclones are big. Like they take up a lot of land in the center of like it's a big circle, whereas a twister is like literally you can see this spiral going up in a
Yeah,
tornado.
so I don't know.
But yeah, I thought it was fine. Like I haven't got much to say in terms of plot and stuff. Um, but more or less said it. It's a very stock standard. It plays like a horror film at times. Like you get the cold opening where everybody dies, get the main character, and then the main character's now like the expert of it because everyone died around her, and there's a bit of conflict between her and another survivor. And but I think like there's some heart to it. We watch her go from helping out one group of people to realizing they're in it for the wrong reasons, just to help another group of people. And I think there's more to it than just chasing some spinning wind, but
Yeah, it was okay. It's
it's
okay.
also very stock standard. To me, it's like a three. Like
Yeah,
I'd recommend it to people. I think for what it is, it's fine. I found it more entertaining than than Deadpool Wolverine.
Hmm.
But it was long. It did not need to be 2 hours. This could have been an hour and a half and probably been better, if I'm honest. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
three for
it's
me.
yeah, it's like a three. It was okay. There was nothing really wrong with it. I just wasn't excited about it. I was like, "Oh, whatever." But
Yeah, I was expecting to be worse though. I thought it was going to be really shit and stupid.
oh yeah, talking about something stupid, we've got a something on the list, which is an asylum film for next week. So we
Hell
have
yeah.
the M. Night Shyamalan, which is another one that could go either way. Could be really good, could be really
Yep.
bad. His current track
Mm-hmm.
record's not so good.
Nope.
Is called Trap, and it's also starring our guy that's all of a sudden reappeared on the scene,
Yeah.
and
No
I
shit.
continually forget his name. Josh Hartnett.
Yep.
Took me a while to remember his name.
I
And then
keep
we,
getting confused with Glenn Powell because
yep.
just handsome white man.
And then we've got the season finale of House of Dragons, so episode 8 of the season 2, and then the
You bet.
newest Asylum film, which is Snow White and the Seven Samurai.
Yep.
Yep,
It's gonna be a banger. Snow White and the
it's
Seven Samurai. It's the movie I've been waiting for.
they've been hit and miss lately as well, though. Like
They always are.
they tried to capitalize on all their other films and then bring them all to one, which never really hit.
That
But
was really dumb. Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. It should be a bit of fun. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what to do. If you listen on Spotify, give us that 5-star rating. You're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Love yous.
And we'll see you guys next time. Boys.